Imagine a life where every limitation, every setback, and every impossible turns into a stepping stone toward your greatest purpose. What if I told you that the key to unlocking that life isn't luck, talent, or timing, but faith? Today, we're going to discover how the simple act of believing can change the course of your destiny and open doors you never thought possible. Faith is one of the most powerful forces in existence, far beyond what the human mind can fully comprehend. It is not merely an emotion or a fleeting feeling of hope. Faith is an intentional act of trust and confidence in a power greater than ourselves. It is the bridge that connects the invisible promises of God to the visible reality of our lives. Many people underestimate the impact of faith because they view it as something passive or abstract. But in reality, faith carries the weight to shift circumstances, defy odds, and transform the very course of a life. When we talk about faith, we are talking about a force that transcends limitations. It allows individuals to rise above fear, doubt, and uncertainty, providing the courage to act even when the path ahead seems unclear. Faith is what separates those who give up in the face of challenges from those who push forward, trusting that there is a divine plan unfolding even when they cannot see the outcome. It is the invisible engine that propels ordinary people into extraordinary outcomes. Faith also shapes perception. It changes how we see the world, enabling us to perceive possibilities where others see impossibilities. It instills a mindset that refuses to be defined by present circumstances and refuses to accept defeat as final. Faith is not blind. It is informed by the belief that a higher power is at work, orchestrating events, opening doors, and providing resources in ways that human understanding cannot anticipate. Furthermore, faith is active in nature. It is expressed through choices, actions, and persistence. It moves people to take steps that align with divine guidance, knowing that every effort fueled by faith contributes to a larger purpose. In essence, faith is both a shield and a sword. It protects, guides, and empowers individuals to overcome the obstacles that stand between them and their destiny. Those who embrace faith fully discover that it is not just a belief, but a transformative force capable of altering the very trajectory of their lives. Faith is a decisive factor that distinguishes those who remain trapped in limitation from those who break through and experience life beyond their own understanding. It creates a foundation for resilience, courage, and hope, and it acts as a spiritual catalyst that initiates change, making the impossible attainable. Your destiny is not fixed, and it is not determined solely by your past mistakes, current circumstances, or the limitations you see around you. Too many people live as though their future is already written in stone, resigned to the belief that they are confined by what has already happened or by what seems impossible. Yet, destiny is far more flexible than most realize. It is dynamic, shaped by decisions, actions, and most importantly, faith. The power of faith allows you to tap into possibilities that go beyond what your eyes can see and what your mind can conceive. It enables you to break free from the chains of limitation and step into the life that was designed specifically for you. When you understand that your destiny is not fixed, you begin to see life differently. Challenges are no longer permanent obstacles. They become temporary tests or stepping stones toward your ultimate purpose. Setbacks are not signs of failure, but opportunities to exercise trust and endurance. Faith allows you to navigate through trials with the confidence that every circumstance can be redirected toward your advantage. Your destiny is waiting, and your response to faith determines whether you step into it or remain stagnant. Believing in the possibility of change is the first step in altering your future. Faith opens your eyes to opportunities that others miss, helping you recognize doors that were always there but could only be seen through spiritual insight. It gives you the courage to pursue goals and take actions that align with the divine blueprint for your life. Your past does not define you, your current struggles do not limit you, and the opinions or expectations of others cannot dictate your path. Faith empowers you to rise above the ordinary and claim the extraordinary. Ultimately, understanding that your destiny is not fixed allows you to live with hope, purpose, and determination. It encourages you to persist, even when progress seems slow, and to trust that every step you take in faith is a step toward fulfilling the promises laid out for your life. Faith is not a passive force. It is active, deliberate, and requires consistent action. It is not enough to simply believe in your heart that things will get better or that God has a plan for your life. Faith demands movement, decisions, and obedience, even when the path is unclear or the outcome uncertain. It is easy to talk about faith when everything seems to be going well, but true faith shows itself in times of trial, when circumstances appear impossible and when the natural eye sees no solution. Faith is demonstrated by those who step out boldly, trusting that what cannot yet be seen will come to pass. When you act in faith, You are making a statement to the universe and to yourself that you trust in something greater than your present reality. Every choice you make that aligns with your faith is a declaration that you refuse to be limited by fear, doubt, or the opinions of others. It is in these actions, often small but consistent, that faith begins to produce tangible results. Faith moves you from a position of waiting to a position of doing. It propels you to pursue opportunities, to take risks, and to step into arenas that require courage and perseverance. Active faith also inspires resilience. When you engage with life through faith, setbacks are no longer roadblocks but lessons, and obstacles are no longer dead ends but challenges to overcome. Faith requires patience, yet it also requires effort. Faith without action remains incomplete. It demands that you continue moving forward, even when the situation seems hopeless, trusting that your steps are guided and that your diligence will bear fruit in due season. In essence, active faith bridges the gap between the promises you believe in and the reality you experience. It transforms potential into progress, vision into victory, and belief into breakthrough. Those who exercise faith in an active way position themselves to witness the extraordinary unfolding in their lives, because faith is not just something you hold. It is something you live and act upon, shaping the outcome of your journey. Faith enables a partnership with a power greater than ourselves, connecting us to divine intervention and opportunities that human effort alone cannot produce. It is through faith that we align our hearts and actions with a higher purpose, allowing the unseen hand of God to work on our behalf. Many people underestimate this truth, thinking that life is solely determined by hard work, luck, or circumstance. While effort and strategy are important, they are limited in scope. Faith, however, opens the door to possibilities that transcend natural limitations. It positions us in such a way that blessings, breakthroughs, and solutions come from sources beyond what we can control or predict. When we operate in faith, we invite a divine collaboration into every area of our lives. It is faith that prompts us to take steps that might seem risky or illogical from a purely human perspective. Those steps, however, place us in alignment with the flow of God's purpose, and doors begin to open that were previously unseen. Faith does not replace effort, but it enhances it, multiplying results and creating outcomes that go far beyond what we could accomplish alone. It is faith that moves hearts, orchestrates events, and provides timely resources that defy ordinary explanation. Furthermore, faith builds a spiritual sensitivity that allows us to recognize guidance, opportunities, and divine timing. It sharpens our awareness so that we can discern the right paths to take and the decisions that will produce lasting impact. Without faith, we rely only on our own understanding, which is limited and often flawed. With faith, we are positioned to participate in a partnership that is both transformative and powerful, one that can reshape circumstances, heal wounds, and redirect the trajectory of our lives. Faith also encourages persistence. Even when immediate results are not visible, it reassures us that our efforts are not in vain, that every step taken in obedience and trust is contributing to a larger plan. By exercising faith, we open ourselves to the extraordinary, allowing divine forces to work in ways that surpass human reasoning, turning challenges into opportunities and impossibilities into realities. Faith produces resilience, giving us the strength to endure trials and overcome setbacks that would otherwise discourage or defeat us. Life is filled with challenges, unexpected obstacles, disappointments, and seasons of waiting that test our patience and determination. Without faith, these trials can easily overwhelm us, causing fear, anxiety, and doubt to take hold. But faith acts as a stabilizing force, grounding us in hope and trust even when circumstances appear impossible. It allows us to maintain a confident perspective, knowing that setbacks are temporary and that every challenge carries the potential for growth and transformation. Resilience through faith does not mean that life becomes easy or that difficulties disappear. Instead, it equips us to face adversity with courage and perseverance. Faith strengthens the mind, the heart, and the spirit, enabling us to rise above circumstances rather than being defined by them. When we cultivate faith, we develop the ability to rebound from failures, to recover from losses, and to keep moving forward when others might give up. It transforms the way we respond to trials, shifting our focus from frustration to possibility, from fear to confidence, and from despair to hope. Moreover, faith-driven resilience helps us maintain consistency in our efforts and obedience. It reminds us that challenges are not permanent roadblocks, but stepping stones that refine our character and prepare us for greater opportunities. Faith fuels endurance, allowing us to keep pressing toward our goals even when progress seems slow or results are not immediately visible. It instills a mindset that refuses to quit, that refuses to be shaken by temporary setbacks, and that trusts the ultimate outcome to a higher power. Faith also has a contagious effect, inspiring others around us to hold on and persevere. When people witness someone navigating life's storms with unwavering trust and determination, it encourages them to embrace resilience in their own lives. Through faith, setbacks are not endpoints but catalysts for growth, and resilience becomes a defining quality that carries us through difficulties and positions us for eventual triumph. Faith changes perspective, allowing us to see life and circumstances in a way that goes beyond what the natural eye can perceive. When we live without faith, we are often limited by what we can see, understand, or control. Obstacles appear insurmountable, problems seem unsolvable, and opportunities are easily overlooked. Faith, however, transforms the lens through which we view our world. It enables us to perceive possibilities where others see only impossibilities, to recognize solutions where others see only dead ends, and to experience hope where others are overwhelmed by despair. Through faith, we develop a mindset that refuses to be confined by current circumstances. It empowers us to focus not on the difficulty of the moment, but on the promise of a better future. Faith teaches us to trust that the challenges we face are temporary and that every setback carries within it the seed of a greater blessing. This perspective allows us to act with confidence, knowing that the bigger picture is guided by divine purposes and that our efforts, when aligned with faith, contribute to a positive outcome that we may not yet fully understand. Faith also reshapes how we respond to adversity. Instead of reacting with fear, frustration, or hopelessness, faith enables us to respond with patience, courage, and determination. It shifts our focus from limitations to opportunities, from problems to solutions, and from doubt to trust. By changing our perspective, faith helps us maintain a steady course even in turbulent times, seeing each challenge as a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block. Moreover, faith encourages gratitude and contentment, even in difficult circumstances. It reminds us that what may seem like delay or hardship is often preparation for a greater revelation or breakthrough. Through this lens, life's experiences, both good and bad, take on new meaning, teaching lessons, building character, and positioning us for the future that faith assures us is possible. Faith transforms vision, mindset, and response, giving us the ability to navigate life with clarity, hope, and purpose. Faith is like a seed planted in the soil of your spirit, and when it is nurtured, it grows into something far greater than its initial size or appearance. A seed may seem small, fragile, and insignificant at first, but with care, patience, and the right conditions, it develops roots, sprouts, and eventually produces fruit. In the same way, faith starts as a small conviction, a quiet trust in the unseen, but when cultivated through prayer, action, and persistence, it blossoms into a powerful force that transforms every area of your life. Just as a seed must be planted and tended to, faith requires intentional effort. It grows when we consistently choose to trust, even in the face of uncertainty, and when we act on the promises we believe in. Neglect or doubt can stunt its growth, but careful attention and persistence allow it to take root deeply. The deeper the roots of faith, the more resilient it becomes, able to withstand storms, challenges, and trials that would uproot a shallow belief. Faith also produces fruit that goes beyond personal benefit. When it grows, it impacts every area of your life, influencing relationships, opportunities, and even the lives of those around you. Like a tree that provides shade, shelter, and nourishment, the results of cultivated faith extend outward, creating blessings that multiply and inspire. The fruit of faith is not always immediate or visible, but with patience and perseverance, it becomes evident in tangible ways, through breakthroughs, answered prayers, restored hope, and transformed circumstances. Furthermore, faith as a seed demonstrates the principle of growth over time. It reminds us that transformation rarely happens overnight. Just as a seed requires seasons of development, faith requires patience, endurance, and consistent trust. It asks us to keep believing, keep acting, and keep trusting even when results are not immediately apparent. The process of nurturing faith shapes character, strengthens resilience, and deepens our relationship with the divine, preparing us to receive and sustain the blessings faith will ultimately bring into our lives. Faith begins small but grows exponentially, becoming a life-giving force that bears fruit beyond imagination. Faith activates destiny by bridging the gap between the life you are living now and the life you were created to experience. Many people go through life believing that their circumstances define their future, accepting limitations as permanent boundaries, yet faith has the power to shift this perspective, to open doors, and to set into motion the unfolding of a destiny that is far greater than what can be seen or understood in the present moment. When faith is exercised, it positions you to step into the opportunities, guidance, and blessings that are waiting to be realized. Faith requires action. It is not enough to simply hope or wish for a better future. Faith moves you to take steps aligned with your purpose. Every decision made in trust, Every step taken toward a goal despite uncertainty is a declaration that you believe your destiny is attainable. This movement, fueled by faith, aligns you with divine timing and ensures that you are prepared to receive the opportunities and breakthroughs that are coming. Faith allows you to operate in alignment with purpose rather than being driven solely by circumstance. Furthermore, faith shapes your mindset in ways that make you receptive to your destiny. It instills confidence, courage, and clarity, helping you discern the paths to pursue and the choices to avoid. Those who walk by faith do not react passively to life's challenges. They respond proactively, recognizing that each obstacle or delay may serve to refine, strengthen, and prepare them for the greater fulfillment of their destiny. Faith also sustains endurance. There will always be seasons when the fulfillment of destiny seems delayed, when progress is slow, or when the challenges are overwhelming. Faith keeps you pressing forward, believing that every step in alignment with your purpose contributes to the realization of what has been promised. It prevents discouragement from taking root and keeps the vision of your destiny alive, ensuring that you remain steadfast and focused until the manifestation occurs. Faith transforms potential into reality, making the promises of your destiny tangible and achievable. Faith demands trust in the unseen, requiring us to believe in things that are not yet visible or tangible. It asks us to step forward without having all the answers, to move toward a future that we cannot fully perceive, and to act on promises that have not yet manifested. Many people struggle with this because human nature relies heavily on what can be seen, measured, or proven. Faith, however, operates differently. It is grounded not in what is immediately observable, but in the assurance that a higher power is at work, orchestrating events and aligning circumstances for our benefit. Trusting the unseen means making decisions based on conviction rather than convenience. It requires courage to act when the outcome is uncertain and confidence to continue when evidence is lacking. This type of faith is not passive. It is dynamic, influencing the choices we make, the actions we take, and the perseverance we maintain. Every step taken in trust strengthens the connection between belief and fulfillment, creating a pathway for possibilities that would otherwise remain closed. Faith also reshapes our perception of time and results. While human understanding often focuses on immediate outcomes, faith recognizes that growth, breakthroughs, and the fulfillment of destiny frequently unfold over time. Trusting the unseen allows us to remain patient and persistent, understanding that each delay, each obstacle, and each challenge serves a purpose in preparing us for what is to come. It gives us the ability to stand firm, even when circumstances suggest otherwise, because our confidence is placed in what is promised rather than what is visible. Moreover, faith in the unseen builds spiritual maturity and resilience. It strengthens character, nurtures hope, and encourages perseverance. When we consistently trust in what we cannot yet see, we develop an inner certainty that cannot be shaken by setbacks or temporary disappointments. Faith transforms uncertainty into opportunity, fear into courage, and hesitation into action, making it possible to walk confidently toward the destiny that awaits us. Faith bridges the gap between the invisible promise and the visible reality, requiring unwavering trust and continual action. Faith calls us to action and requires a response, urging us not to settle for a life dictated by circumstances or limited by doubt. Many people live passively, waiting for change to happen or believing that their destiny is beyond their influence. Yet faith is not meant to be passive. It is a force that compels engagement, persistence, and commitment. To fully step into the life that has been designed for you, faith demands that you make deliberate choices, take consistent steps, and actively pursue the promises that align with your purpose. Responding in faith begins with a mindset shift. It means refusing to accept defeat, limitation, or discouragement as final. It requires embracing the belief that every challenge, setback, and obstacle is temporary, and that each circumstance can be redirected toward growth and fulfillment. By choosing to respond in faith, you acknowledge that your actions matter, that your trust can influence outcomes, and that your destiny is not solely dependent on external factors. Faith transforms waiting into active preparation, turning seasons of uncertainty into opportunities to strengthen your character, sharpen your vision, and position yourself for breakthrough. Moreover, faith motivates consistency. It encourages you to continue pressing forward even when results are not immediately visible. Each small step taken in trust is part of a larger trajectory, gradually moving you closer to the realization of your destiny. Faith also cultivates courage, allowing you to face fears and take risks that you would otherwise avoid. It empowers you to act decisively, knowing that divine guidance is at work and that persistent obedience produces results beyond what human effort alone could achieve. Faith also strengthens perseverance. It reassures us that the process, with all its delays and difficulties, is purposeful. By responding to faith, We align ourselves with a greater plan, ensuring that every choice, every action, and every decision contributes to the fulfillment of the destiny that is meant for us. It compels us to rise above passivity and claim the life of promise with intentionality, trust, and steadfast determination. Faith transforms belief into action, turning hope into reality through consistent, purposeful steps. In the end, faith is more than belief. It is the force that bridges the gap between where you are and where you are meant to be. When you choose to trust, act, and persevere, you step into a destiny filled with purpose, breakthrough, and promise. Your future is waiting, and faith is the key to unlocking it.